Namaste, welcome back to the Jewel Ornament of Liberation by Gampopa. So today we will going to summarize the chapter 10th of the training in Aspiration Bodhicitta. Training in Aspiration Bodhicitta, so the Bodhicitta is awakened heart or wishing to enlightenment in order to benefit all the sentient beings. So that kind of awakened heart or the compassionate heart, so there's what we call the Aspiration Bodhicitta, which is the wishing to all the sentient beings to be enlightenment. And in order to all the sentient beings to be enlightenment, so that may I also enlighten, so that I can guide and I can lead all the sentient beings on the path to enlightenment. And then the application bodhicitta or the action bodhicitta is the practice or action into that bodhicitta. But today, the chapter 10 is more like the training. So there are 5 ways to train in Aspiration Bodhicitta. So that practice will help our Aspiration Bodhicitta more strong and bring more strength in that Aspiration Bodhicitta. So the 5 trains are not abandon the sentient beings. And second is recollecting the benefits of bodhicitta. The third one is gathering the 2 accumulation. And the fourth one is practicing the bodhicitta repeatedly. And fifth one is accepting the 4 wholeness and rejecting the 4 unwholesome. So let's understand this not abandoning the sentient beings method to not losing the bodhicitta. So not abandoning the sentient beings means once you receive the bodhisattva vow, so in everyday life there are so many people that we meet. And some people, they might be your relative, friends, colleagues, or stranger. So sometimes they say something which really hurt you, or they say something which you don't like. And there is what we call the natural response, the reacting, that I don't want it to see him again, or I don't want it to meet him again. I don't want it to have any connection with this person, and I wanted to disconnect forever. And so that is kind of abandoning the sentient beings. And even worse, like sometimes we are so much anger, there's so much anger toward that particular person that even we start to make kind of commitment that I will never ever going to help this particular person, even I get opportunity to help. You know, unconsciously or consciously, we make this kind of decision. And so that is like really abandoning the sentient beings. And as we are a bodhisattva practitioner, as we already received the bodhisattva vow, so that is like a kind of the biggest obstacle for the cultivating the bodhicitta. So we have to think instead like forgiving them and you know, kind of the compassion. So we should not stop compassioning toward that particular person. So that's the first training. Now the second training is here is recollecting the benefit of bodhisattva, the bodhicitta. So that this method is, or this training is to the bodhicitta does not weaken, you know, which means when you think of benefits of bodhicitta, so there are so many benefits. For example, here, so the benefit for ourselves, So it will make you peaceful and happy and joyful, and life is like a more what we call the meaningful. So it's having a bodhicitta is so much benefiting ourselves. The first of all, and the secondly, the benefit for others. It's all once you have a bodhicitta, so you will not harm other sentient beings, include your parents, friends, and colleagues and strangers, or even include the enemies. You will not harm them. Instead, you will always thinking about other people, how I can help other people. So that having a bodhicitta is also a really benefit for other beings. It's almost like a shelter for other people, like a food for other people. So you will always benefit other beings, whomever encounter you. So the way you speak, the way you behave, the way you think, so they will benefit out of the bodhicitta. So the second benefit is for others. And then the third benefit is the against the problem. So what does that mean? The against the problem, having a bodhicitta, so there's no way to arise anger or jealousy or pride or all these negative kind of emotions, because the bodhicitta is so pure and so warm and so what we call that compassion and loving kindness, and it's impossible to your anger, jealousy, insecurity can't arise in that kind of the beautiful the bodhicitta, that environment. So that's the third benefit. The fourth benefit is, here it says it's a wish fulfilled jewel. The bodhicitta, once you have a bodhicitta, you are bound to become a Buddha. So once you have a bodhicitta, you feel loved by yourself, and the other people will respect you, love you, care you, and understand you, because once you have a bodhicitta, so you will have the radiating that kind of love and respect and care and understanding to other people. So once that quality is there, so it's almost like a wish fulfilled jewel, which means wherever you go, whatever you do, every wish will be slowly fulfilled by others or fulfilled by the law of karma, because the bodhicitta is the great the merits, because we need lots of merits in order to all the wish to fulfill. The bodhicitta is like the greatest merit to accumulate. So here, the recalling the benefit of bodhicitta is also the second training of the aspiration bodhicitta, which is very important. You have to really time to time think of benefit of this aspiration bodhicitta. So more you see the benefit, so more you wanted to train and practice. So now the third training of aspiration bodhicitta is gathering the two accumulation. So what are these two accumulations? So this is the accumulating here, the merit and the wisdom. So accumulating the merit and accumulating the wisdom will strengthen our aspiration bodhicitta. So merit is more like all this positive action, and for example, like loving kindness, compassion, and patience, and generosity, and the ethic, morality. So all these are merits, and the merits means all the good action, from three door of your speech, through your action, through your thinking. So every positive actions are accumulating the merits. So the wisdom is more like understanding the reality, the understanding the truth of impermanence, and the truth of the nature of mind, the truth of the ultimate truth, the emptiness or the selfless. So that's a more like the wisdom, the merit and wisdom to accumulate. So the more you do good actions, so more you meditation on Mahamudra or Dzogchen to seeing your own nature of mind. So the shamatha, the vipassana meditation. So this both the merit and wisdom will make this aspiration bodhicitta so more strengthened, more power. So that's why it's so important to every day accumulating the merit and wisdom. Let me give you one example. When you are traveling by train or bus or subway, so and there is a elderly, man, woman, or pregnant, and you just stand up and you let the seat for that person. So that's a good action. So that's a merit you already accumulated. And in order to add the wisdom in this simple action, so you have to understand that everything is illusion. Everything is like a dream. Everything is empty. So there, in a reality, there's not I or this subway or train or bus or that particular person. In reality, everything is empty. So just by realizing or adding this understanding of reality, you're adding the wisdom in that merit. So it's a much the powerful merits to accumulate. So that will make the aspiration bodhicitta more strengthened. Okay, the practice number 4, the training number 4 is practicing the bodhicitta repeatedly. So here, this will make our aspiration bodhicitta more deepening. It makes bodhicittas, the root of the aspiration bodhicitta, more deep. Inside our life. So here it says practicing of the cause of the bodhicitta, the practicing the actual bodhicitta, and practicing the action. So which means here the practicing the cause of bodhicitta is so every day, like the practicing this compassion meditation and sending the love and healing to the sick person. So that means always like the cultivating this compassion and loving kindness, which means always thinking about how I can help today the other people, how I can reduce the others' suffering. So always having that kind of intention and the motivation, so you are kind of planting a seed of compassion and loving kindness, which is the cause of the aspiration bodhicitta. So the actual bodhicitta is, how to practice the actual bodhicitta is what we call taking the precept of bodhicitta every day. So, like the way all the Sugata, the Buddha, Bodhisattva, Mahasiddha, my gurus, the way they kind of receive the aspiration bodhicitta and application bodhicitta. So may I also, in front of all the Buddha, Bodhisattva, may I also take the precept of aspiration bodhicitta and application bodhicitta in order to benefit all the sentient beings. So that's the vow of the bodhicitta. And you have to repeat it. This, like a morning you take a one time the bodhisattva vow, the afternoon you take a bodhisattva vow, evening you take a bodhisattva vow, almost like a breakfast, lunch and dinner. So that's in the whole day you have to thinking to really helping other beings and reducing the other beings' suffering. So that's planting the seed of bodhicitta, the aspiration bodhicitta, and from morning till evening, really like the repeatedly taking the bodhisattva vow. So that's our actual bodhicitta, because in the bodhisattva vow, it's more like how I can become enlightened in order to make all the sentient beings to be enlightened, So that's the actual bodhicitta to practice. And the action bodhicitta is so in a real life. So in a real life means every day, whenever you get an opportunity to help other beings, so don't miss that opportunity. And no matter in your office, or no matter you're in a bus or train or on the way or at home. So if anyone need your help, So don't miss that opportunity. You have to bring that bodhicitta in action. And if someone is suffering, and they need your help in order to reduce their suffering, and don't miss that opportunity. From morning till evening, even you see a small the insect who is maybe suffering on the street, and sometimes some small the insect are quite heavy, and they're ups and down. Some days ago I saw one huge insect, and they are too heavy, and they were like ups and down, and they don't know how to now fold back and come back on their feet. So I could ignore them, but I saw them, and I feel that's my opportunity to help that sentient beings, and I bring a small stick, and I help that small insect to turn it back to the natural position, and that really gives me a joy that, oh, I'm able to bring the bodhicitta in action. I'm able to help some sentient beings, So I think that's very important, that in everyday life, so that we practice the bodhicitta. So here the action of bodhicitta. So this fourth part of Aspiration Bodhicitta training is, here it says the practicing the bodhicitta repeatedly. So it's very important here, repeatedly, not like once upon a time I took a bodhisattva vow and I forgot, It's almost like see, why we have to brush every morning, evening, why we have to eat a breakfast, lunch, dinner, why? So that, because we need to, the hygiene, and we need to survive. So it's almost like a bodhisattva, the bodhicitta mind need to be kind of awake all the time, because now we are a beginner and we are so easy to forget. And so we have to find every different way, just thinking good of other beings. That's a seat of compassion, seat of bodhicitta. And how may I can help other beings, how may I can reduce their suffering. And really, like actual bodhicitta is taking a bodhisattva vow, how I may let other people to be enlightened, how I may enlightenment, how may I may can awake myself so that I can awaken other beings. So that's the actual bodhicitta. And action bodhicitta training is, as Gampopa mentioned, don't miss any opportunity to help other sentient beings. Sentient beings doesn't mean only human being, any sentient beings, include the animals, Okay, now the last one, the fifth training of Aspiration Bodhicitta is accepting the four wholesome and rejecting the four unwholesome. So that will help to not forgetting the bodhicitta. So let me see here what are the four unwholesome which will destroy the bodhicitta, and it's not correct, The first one, lying to your teacher or those who trust you. The second unwholesome, making others regret doing good, which means if someone did something really good, let's say if someone give a donation to particular charity, and he or she is kind of sharing with you this like a joy, like, oh, I did today I give $100 to that particular charity, I'm so happy. And then now you are saying, oh, that charity is really not trustworthy, and they already now cheated on you. So now that person start to regret that he or she helped some charity organization. So that's what it says, that making other regret doing good. And even though he did a good, but you are finding the way or saying something which led him to regret of doing good, So sometimes, we give, let's say 10 rupees to beggars on the street, and then the other person say, oh, don't give, they are a whole mafia gang, you know, so they are, sometimes people say they are richer than you, they are not poor, they have a big house, they have a big land, they are just pretending to be a beggar, you know. So now you feel regret, like really, like, oh, are they like behind the kind of, are they like a kind of running the mafia gangs, are running this, the beggars business, oh, they are already rich, oh, so then she is regretting to giving this the generosity. And so here the Gampopa said, don't, you know, make other regret the doing goods. The third unwholesome is speaking badly about the Bodhisattva. I met many Khenpos or Rinpoches or practitioners. They always talk bad about that Rinpoche, that Khenpo, that Dharma friends, you know. And I think that is what Gampopa here says. Never ever talk bad about any and the masters, any teachers, any Khenpo or Rinpoche. I mean, whatever other people are saying is their business. You know, some time back I met one Khenpola, and he was saying really bad about one particular very important figure, important Rinpoche, and I feel really sad and I feel really bad for him, because he don't know that he's breaking the Bodhisattva vow, you know. And for me, I never ever, you know, I will never ever going to pass that information what he shared with me to other people, because I wouldn't talk you know, like a kind of the bad about all the others, the masters, you know. So even though like right now, what I said, like, oh, that particular Khenpo said something really wrong. Actually, that itself is also kind of, you know, talking bad or even thinking bad about the particular Khenpo. Do you see that? It's a sometimes, you know, it's a very tricky. So I mean, never ever say or think bad about any other masters, and especially who took a bodhisattva, because who took a bodhisattva, they are bodhisattva, you know. And the fourth one, the deceiving the sentient beings, you know. So now what are the four wholesome which you have to practice, and that are the antidote for unwholesome? The number one, never lie even in the danger, no matter even the danger of life. Don't lie to your teacher, your Dharma friends, or you don't lie to any other sentient beings. The number two, the antidote or the wholesome, encourage other in virtues. So encouragement to other people to do more good. The third antidote or the wholesome is see Bodhisattva as a Buddha and praise their good qualities. So always see all the Lama, Khenpo, teachers, practitioners as a Bodhisattva, as a Buddha, and always talk good about them. They also have a good quality, and always think the good quality, always share the good quality of all the other Dharma friends and all the Rinpoche or teachers. You know, never ever think or talk bad about them. So now number fourth one, the wholesome number fourth is keep an altruistic attitude toward all the beings. So always compassion and loving kindness to all the sentient beings. So these are the five training of Aspiration Bodhicitta. So the first one, not abandoning the sentient beings. Second one, recollecting the benefits of bodhicitta. Third one, gathering the two accumulation. The fourth one, practicing the bodhicitta repeatedly. And the fifth one, accepting the four wholesome and rejecting the four unwholesome. Thank you for listening. See you next time.